Hello YouTuber subscribers and friends, welcome to my channel. I'm over here at Sanctuary Cove. I have not been here in a long time, probably 6-7 months. Want to come over here and see what it looked like over here. That is Sombrero Peak. Got my walking stick here. It's a broom handle. The reason I got my stick with me today is because the snakes are out now. The weather's been getting really hot here. And there's dead snakes on the road, so the snakes are out. You gotta be really careful. Let's go walk around a little bit here. Let's look at the flowers right there. Those are the wildflowers. I have people ask me before, are there flowers in the desert? Normally we don't see them this time of year, but just look at all of them all over the mountain there. And I've been here many times. I've never seen that on the mountain like this. I don't know the name of that flower, but everywhere you look is just wildflowers. Bushes everywhere, so the trails are harder to walk on because these bushes are overrunning the trails. And look at this, it looks like grass, but it's not grass, it's some kind of weed. Go over here and look at these flowers. Jerry did not want to come with me today. I don't know why. He doesn't like riding in my car anymore. Sun is starting to come out. So quiet over here. Hear all the birds? Quail in the background. That over there is what they call Ringtail Trail. And I don't know, year and a half ago, probably a year and a half ago, I was hiking over there one day up in this area. There's some big rocks, and I saw this thing hopping over the rocks. And at first, my first impression, my first thought was, did I just see a friggin' monkey? And then I went running after it to go look at it, and then I saw it again, and it was like a gigantic squirrel. And then I did some research and found out it's like a ringtail raccoon or something like that. And now I know why that's called Ringtail Trail over there, because there's apparently ringtails over there. So if you live in Tucson, this is where I'm at. It's a beautiful place. I've hiked here so many times over the years. I've been coming here for years, making videos here. I've never seen this many flowers here before.
Just look at them! They're so beautiful!
I've people ask me, how do you enjoy the flowers if you're colorblind? I don't like using the term colorblind. I like to use the term color challenge. I still see color. I just see different colors than you. That's all. So, it's very beautiful. Don't ask me what color it is. I have no idea. I just know what I see. And it's really hard when somebody finds out you're colorblind and they ask you, well, what colors do you see? And how can I explain color to you if I don't know what color is, to explain it to you? I know the colors that I see when I'm awake are different than the colors I see when I'm dreaming, because I do dream in color. Let's see, what's this sign say? When I'm not the center of the universe, people become human. Huh. Hey, well, look. Now, this color, I can guarantee you that this is white, because it's extremely bright to me. Right? Although I have been wrong before, but I would take a guess and say that flower's white. Believe me, I've been wrong many times. The color white and something else. Well, there's somebody else parked here in the parking lot, but I do not see anybody else hiking. I do not hear anybody hiking. But there are birds everywhere here flying around. dive bombing me, chirping in the background. So if you're new to my channel, I figured I'd just talk about this really quick. Or you've been watching it for a while and you're like, oh, I can't believe he sold the Miata. 2001 Mazda Miata is gone. It's gone. And I don't miss it. But the reason why I sold it, if you've been watching my videos on a regular basis, is because my son had been talking to my wife that that's not his style of car. He thinks it's cool and everything, and he's glad that he has a car, but he's not a car guy. He's not into working on the car. He's been working on it with me almost every day since I bought it, you know, and I could see the fire in his eyes dwindling smaller and smaller each day. And I would talk to my wife and I was like, what's going on? He acts like he doesn't want this car anymore. And then she told me, well, he likes it but he doesn't like it, and he doesn't know how to ask you if we can sell it. And I said, sell it? And she's like, yeah, he doesn't want you to get angry because he wants to sell it and see if he can get something else. And I just started laughing, and my wife said, what's so funny? I said, listen, I bought the car because it was a great deal. I love the car. Beautiful car, little sports car for $200. But I don't have a problem selling it. I'm not attached to this car. And like I've been saying in all my videos, this is a learning tool. It's a big, oh, that's an airplane. I thought it was a bird at first. It's a metal bird. And I said, I don't have a problem selling it. I can sell it. You know what? I'm going to turn around, I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to make a great profit on this. I didn't know it was going to sell this fast. And in the same time, I'm going to teach my son that, well, maybe you don't like it, but you can turn around and you can flip it without having to do a lot of stuff to it. So I still was able to teach him, you know, from using that car, that he doesn't like it, no problem, let's flip it. Because I used to flip cars all the time for a hobby. I mean, I'd make more money flipping cars than I did working at the jobs that I had. And the economy sucked in 2008, and that's when I stopped flipping cars. But anyways, that's why we sold the car, because my son didn't really like it. What was freaking him out was that he's just learning how to drive an automatic. Although he told me that he wants to learn how to drive a stick, he was stressing out because, you know, we would sit in the car and I would teach him. I would tell him, look, you like to play those virtual reality games. You put the headset on your head, covers your eyes, and you pretend like you're doing something, and it feels like reality. I'm like, well, we would do the same thing with the car. We would sit in the car and I would teach him how to shift. All right, we're going down the road, we're going this fast. You need to downshift to here, you need to upshift. You know, and I was still teaching him how to drive a stick shift without actually physically driving the car. And it was stressing him out because he's freaking out about taking a driving test in an automatic. The parallel parking is freaking him out, even though he can parallel park really, really good. But, you know, he's a kid and he's inexperienced, and he was freaking out about having to do parallel parking and driving a stick shift. So I told him, I said, son, stop stressing and freaking out about stuff you have no control over, man. Everybody gets scared. I was scared when I was your age and I was learning how to drive and taking the motorcycle license test and taking a car driving test. It's all part of life. It's all part of the experience. You know, don't let the fear control you. You know, you'll get through it just like everybody else. Everybody on the road that's driving a car is experiencing what you're experiencing right now. So stop stressing out about it, because there's no control. You can't control, you know, that you're going to have to go through this just like everybody else. It's a learning process that we all go through if you want to drive, you know. And don't worry, if you want to sell the car, don't worry, we'll sell it. So put it on the internet, and I sold it, and I made a good profit. I sold it for $600, and I used that as a learning tool also to teach my son, you know, if you're going to own a car, you need how to learn how to operate it, you need to learn how to work on it, you need to learn responsibility, how to take care of it. And since you want to sell it, I didn't want to sell it, you know. I wanted to keep it, but I'm not going to make him keep something or do something that he doesn't want to do. I'm just not that type of person. So I made him go through the process of selling the car. You know, I had him sit next to me when I was putting it on the internet for sale. I had him sitting there when I was responding to the people who were interested. And the guy that came out and bought it, he was trying to buy it before I bought it from the girl, but the girl would never return his phone calls. And he's like, I've been trying to buy this thing for months. I was like, yeah, me too, but you know, 3 weeks later, after I completely forgot about it, I get a text from her saying she still had it, and I made an offer. She accepted, and I bought it. And my wife's always telling me, everything happens for a reason. And there has to be a reason why I was able to buy that car and that guy didn't, even though he ended up with it eventually. There was a reason. The reason was for me to get it, teach my son the process of, you know, going out, finding a cheap car, buying it, working on it, teaching him some stuff about the car, learning that he's not a car guy at all whatsoever. I mean, for lack of a better term, my son is a nerd. Let's see, let's go this way. And not that it is a bad thing. I was a nerd in school too, but you know, he was stressing out about having that stick shift car. He wants an automatic, so I'm going to look for an automatic for him. And that guy, I told the guy too, when he saw the body work that my son did, I said my son did it, and he's like, oh my goodness, this looks so much better than what it did when I first noticed the car on the internet. Look at all them flowers. Let's go this way. And I said, yeah, he did it. He's like, man, he did an awesome job for his first time. I said, yeah, and he was standing there when the guy was saying this. So I had the guy, I told the guy, this is his car, he wants to sell it, so, you know, I had my son talking to the guy, and when the guy gave us the money, the guy gave it to my son. I told my son to count the money in front of the guy. He was kind of embarrassed to do it, and I said, listen, and the guy was like, no, your dad's right, just don't take people's words for it, count it, make sure it's all there, because I might have miscounted it. And he counted, gave it to him all in 50s, and he counted in front of the guy. I told him to shake the guy's hand, and they shook hands, and then I told him, you're going to have to help me help the guy put it in his trailer. You know, these are all learning things. This is very important for kids to know, boys and girls. I did offer my daughter if she wanted to come out and help, but she's like, no, Dad, it's not my car. You know, and that's another thing. And here's what I have to say about that. I involve my daughter in everything. She just chooses not to be involved in it. Just because, here's the thing that people always tell me, don't let the trolls affect you. They don't. But the reason I talk about them and the reason I have to say something like this is because people, you know, you watch a video. I was going to say a 3-minute video, but my videos aren't 3 minutes. You know, you watch a video, no matter how long my videos are. Most people, if you don't see it in the video or you don't hear it in the video, you quickly assume that something's not being done or something's not being said, and it's so wrong to assume that. You know, just because I don't put my daughter on video, or show me talking to my daughter, because my daughter does not want to be in my videos. She has clearly let me know that. Same with my wife. My wife don't even want to be. You're lucky if you even hear her talking on video sometimes. Sometimes she doesn't even want to hear her voice on my videos. So I'm not going to make my family do something they don't want to do. My son don't care. My son likes being in the videos. He likes being the topic of my videos sometimes. He don't watch my stuff. But he used to be a big YouTuber also. He used to make videos, but he don't do it anymore. He doesn't play games as much as he used to either. Oh man, this hill is steep. I'm going to get out of breath. There's so many wildlife flowers over here. So, just because you guys don't see it in the videos doesn't mean that I'm not doing it. It's like the same thing with my dogs. People are always like, how come we never see your other dogs, you walking the other dogs at the dog park? Like, because they don't want to go. I took Josie one time before. She hates riding in the car. Brownie's scared to leave the backyard. But, you know, they get their attention. They get their walks. You know? So stop making a judgment call on somebody that you watch a video of. Because there's 24 hours in a day. Right? 7 days in a week. You watch a 15, 20, 25, 30-minute video of mine. And I'm not saying you personally like naming out names, but there are people out there who think, oh, I know Bat. I know all about him. I know exactly what kind of person he is. You're just seeing a very small peek into my life, a little window into my life of things that are going on, things that I want to talk about. There's so much other stuff that I'm doing off camera and in my life that I don't even talk about on my YouTube channel. I just put what I think is interesting, what might teach or help somebody else down the line, down the road in the future. And right now, in my life right now, I'm trying to teach my son because he's becoming a man. He's going to be 16 years old pretty soon. In less than a month, he's going to turn 16. And in some countries, that's a huge deal. It's a man. That's when a boy becomes a man. And it's my job as a parent, and it's our jobs as parents, my wife and I, to teach our children everything that we know. Teach them good and bad, wrong and right, and to point them in the right direction in their lives to make the right choices, right decisions in their life. You can't control what they're going to do. You can, like I tell my son all the time, you could be the safest, most carefulest driver in the world. It only takes one idiot to crash into you to ruin your day, right? And believe me, every accident I've been in is because somebody has ran into me, no matter how careful I am. That's why it's always important to wear your seatbelts. My daughter hates to wear seatbelts. I always yell at her to put her seatbelt on. And even my son, because I told her, once you start driving, son, she doesn't want a car. You're going to be driving her around. So he's always yelling at her, put your seatbelt on, Kiana! And they always argue back and forth. You know about my father, you don't tell me what to do. I'm going to be 18. My daughter's like, I'm going to be an adult. You can't tell me what to do. Not even Dad can tell me when I'm 18. And it's funny to hear them two argue like that. But look at that sombrero peak. So that's what's going on right now. That's the saga that's going on right now. I did find a nice truck, and I showed it to him, and he liked it. I'll put a picture right here of the truck. And the only problem is it's a stick shift. Now, he says he wants to learn, but he doesn't want to focus on stick shift right now. He wants to get a car that's an automatic, get his permit and his license, and then maybe down the road, he asked me, Dad, when I'm ready to drive a stick shift, will you teach me? I said, yeah, of course I will, son. I'll throw you the keys, take you out in the middle of nowhere, and tell you, go for it. That's exactly like I did my oldest daughter. She's 33 years old. And I told him, why don't you go call her up, call your sister up, and ask her how I taught her. I teach all my kids the same. There's no difference the way I'm teaching them. You know, the best way to learn, especially me as a person, just talking about me, I'm a hands-on type of guy. When I bought that Mazda Miata, I knew absolutely nothing about Mazdas or Miatas, but I did know the basics of cars, what you need to get a car running, and what to look for, and what you should listen for. And with the help of Timmy from Astro Auto Repairs, I have to give him a shout out because he deserves all the props, man. He's a nice guy, and he's got a lot of knowledge. And that's one thing that I've learned. You don't have to be smart as long as you surround yourself with smart people, right? And with his guidance, I did get the car running. Even though I knew I could get it running eventually, I just extended my knowledge by tapping in and picking at his brain and asking him, what about this and what about that? And look, you should look at this, you should try that. And I will say one thing, Timmy did. He just kept telling me, "You're getting off track. You need to focus." And if Timmy really knew me, he wouldn't say that to me. But you know, I would kid and I would say, "Yeah, I am focused, Timmy. You just don't know. You don't know how focused I am. I'm an extremely focused guy, especially when I want to learn something. If I don't want to learn something, I don't care how much you try to make me learn it. I will not learn it. I'm like a donkey. You know how a donkey, or better yet, a mule. If a mule doesn't want to be ridden, I don't care how much you tug on the leash and the reins and everything like that. It ain't gonna. It'll sit down and it's not gonna budge. Right? I'm kind of the same way. And because these are my kids, they're pretty much gonna be just like me. So if I try to force something onto my kids and my family, you know, they're not gonna like it because they are a part of me, and I don't like that kind of stuff. So, was my son happy and stress-free after I told him, "Hey, no problem, son. Watch me sell this car and make a great profit on it. You're gonna not believe it unless you see it with your own eyes that your dad is gonna take this car that doesn't drive, and I'm gonna sell it, and I'm gonna sell it fast, and I'm gonna make a good profit at it." I was surprised that it sold in 20 minutes. That's the fastest I've ever sold a car. Believe me, I've bought and sold cars so many times that blew my mind. But yeah, I had some guy offer me $1,000. There was many things that happened in selling this car that was able to teach my son. And my son was right there. He saw the guy offer me $1,000. The guy emailed me and said, "Listen, I want that car really bad. I know you said there's a guy coming right now to get it. Tell him it's sold, and I will be there in an hour and a half, and I will give you $1,000." I was only asking $6. And I showed it to my son, and my son said, "Oh my God, Dad, you're going to get $1,000. I said, "No." He said, "What do you mean, no?" I said, "Listen, I promised that guy if he could show up within 45 minutes, I would sell it in for $600. You got to keep your word, son. It's not about the money, all right? Yeah, I'm all about getting a profit, but you know, you got to be honest. If you tell somebody something, you got to do it. You know, if he doesn't show up, then I will contact that guy." Which I did. I emailed the guy and I said, "Listen, the guy's on his way. I'm not that type of person, but if you're interested, if he doesn't show up, you'll be the next one in line, and you don't have to give me $1,000. Just give me $600. That's all I'm asking, because I'm not a greedy person." And my son was like, "I can't believe you said that." And he went and told my wife, and my wife was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Listen, I'm not greedy, all right? $400 profit is a good profit." So what I was doing was teaching my son that, you know, there are people out there that will test your morals and stuff like that, so you have to stick to them, you know. It has nothing to do with the car. I could care less about the car is gone. There's be other cars. But look at this big gigantic rock stack here. That's the Santa Catalina Mountains. Tucson is that way. That is the town of Catalina. If you've been watching my channel for a while, the house that's $125,000 with $1 million views is that way. If you go 45 minutes north of Catalina to the town of Oracle is just that way. I found another 1999 Mustang. The guy was asking $500, and because it's so far, it's like an hour and a half drive from Tucson to the town of Oracle. It's a beautiful town. The guy was asking $500 for this 99 Mustang. Got a blown head gasket. And my son, two things he was asking he would like to have was a Mustang or a Jeep. And I showed him the Mustang, and he's like, "Wow, it's beautiful, Dad. Can we get it?" Like, so I contacted the guy, and they found out it had blown head gaskets. And I told my son, I said, "Well, it's got a blown head. We can buy it, you know, and get it home. But the cost of towing is like $300 to have it towed from Oracle." And I told the guy, "Oh man, it's going to be too much money to have it towed to Tucson." The next day, the guy texted me back and said he would take $325 and charge me $25, and he would tow it to me. And I told my son, and he was like, "That's cool, Dad, let's get it." And I said, "Well, you have to understand, this is not, it's an automatic, but it's not drivable. And it may be a long time before we actually rebuild the motor." And he's like, "All right, never mind, Dad." So I'm not having a problem finding cars cheap and what he likes. The problem is, everything's got a blown motor or bad transmission. And I'm teaching them, you have to have patience, son. I'll find it, but it's going to take time. Now, I told my wife last night, I said, you know what, he keeps saying why can't I just give him my car? You know what, maybe I'm looking at this all wrong. Maybe I'm thinking this completely wrong. I'm tired of the Focus myself. I was thinking about selling it, and I told my wife, what if I just, don't tell him yet, because I haven't made a decision yet that that's what I'm going to do, but what if I take that $600 and I buy something for me, and it could be a stick, it can be an automatic, it can be whatever, and I just let him have the Focus. And she's like, really? You give him the Focus? I'm like, I don't know yet. I'm still thinking about that. Don't let him know, because then he'll get all excited. But we'll see. I got to do some shopping around, do some car investigations. Nice, man. The sun's trying to peek out. It's a nice breeze coming. But that's where we're at right now. The saga continues. It was a nice car, the Mazda Miata, and I found out, I have learned a lot about Mazda Miatas, and I learned that this is a very popular car. I had 15 people trying to get that car from me when I put it up for sale, and the guy who bought it from me had been trying for months to buy it from the girl, but she never ever replied back to him. That's why my wife says all the time, everything happens for a reason. So that's why I don't stress out about anything. And just like with our house selling, at first I didn't want to, and then I was like, you know what? Who cares, right? If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's meant for us to sell our house and move into Tucson and rent an apartment or rent a house or buy another house or buy a piece of property, whatever is meant for us to be in our next step in our adventures, then it's going to happen no matter what I say. So there's no reason to stress about it or worry about what's going to happen. That was another thing my son was stressing out about. He was like, he was stressing out that we were never going to get the Mazda Miata running, which we did with Timmy's help. Caught it on fire, but didn't do any damage. But even then, when I told him, when he asked me, what does that mean, Dad, that it's got a knocking noise, it was a real loud knocking noise. I know you can't hear very well on the phone, because I was recording with the phone and had the mic covered up a little bit. It was a very loud knocking noise. I knew for sure that the motor had to be completely rebuilt, and I knew, because my wife is trying to sell the house, that it would be several months before I would be able to rebuild it. Not that I can't rebuild it. I knew I could rebuild it, but I just knew it. And he was stressing out. He kept asking, when we're going to move, Mom, when we're going to sell the house, because in his mind, he's never going to drive until we sell the house and decide where we're going to move. And once I just told him, don't worry about it, we'll sell, we'll get something else. And now we got even more money. You know, the budget I had before was a lot cheaper. Now we got even more money for a better vehicle. Let's see, what's this say? 12 points of reflection have been placed along this loop trail. As you walk the path, take a moment to read, contemplate, and reflect. If you'd like to contribute inspirational sayings for consideration, please do so in the All Creeds Chapel guest book or online at www.sanctuarycove.org. Well, see if anybody wants to put in some inspirational sayings or quotes. There you go. So that's pretty much how I live my life. I don't like to be around drama people. I don't like people who like to talk about other people behind their backs. If you can't say something to somebody's face, don't say it at all, right? Don't be drama. Look at this. Right? Don't talk bad about people, man. That's why I always say treat people kindly. Treat them how you want to be treated. Now, would you like people to talk bad about you behind your back? Well, no. Well, then don't do that to other people. And I don't like to hang out with people who do that. So I like to live a very stressful, free life. I like to enjoy my time with my family. And I really, you know, to all the people out there that said don't let the haters and the trolls bother you, I don't. It's just, you know, if you want to find out what the world is like, start a YouTube channel. I have my YouTube filter on to where I have to continue every day, go in and put in another word because somebody figured out a different way to spell bad words, that it gets through the filtration system of YouTube. And then my other subscribers might have the opportunity to read these nasty comments that people like to live. Now, the comments, personally, they don't affect me because I know this person is an idiot, or people are idiots, and they don't know me. But it just, I'm not shocked anymore by the amount of comments I get on a daily basis. Minimum 15 a day I get that are blocked that you guys don't see as the subscriber, don't see in the comment. Now, the person leaving the comment thinks everybody's seeing it because it allows them to type it and they can see they're typing the comment, but it has to go through an approval filter on my channel before I release it to everybody to see. So that's that's how stupid these people are, these trolls. They think they're getting one up on me, but you're not. But I talk about it in my videos to let people know that, you know what, I just don't get it anymore, you know. Well, it's not hard to be a positive person. I mean, I work on it every single day, 24 hours a day. I'm not Jesus, all right? I'm not walking around saying I'm more holier than everybody else. I haven't learned to walk on water yet, unless it's ice, unless it's frozen, then I can walk on it. But, you know, I try every day. I work at it every single day to be a positive, you know, nice person, you know. And I think I do a pretty good job. And I put messages in my videos, whether people get the messages or not. You know, the videos will be there. You can go back and watch them over and over and over again. Maybe you'll get the message, maybe you won't. There's a lot of quail talking to me out here. Here, that's a quail. I just learned recently also that I didn't think any of my family members, other than, I'm not talking about my wife or kids, but brothers and sisters, I just learned that my sister listens to my YouTube channel. I don't know if she watches it, but she told me she listens. And she stumbled onto my channel by accident. And I'll give a shout out to her. Her name is Terry. What's up, Terry? I don't know if she's listening to this video or not, but she just recently moved back to Tucson, and she lives a couple miles from me in the same town that I live in. She just bought a house. But yeah, I try to be motivational to people and be inspiring, because like I said, you watch a 25-30 minute video of me and a lot of people think you know me, but you don't, or you don't know my family, you know. So a lot of people are quick to assume and make judgment calls on people. All I'm saying is I allow you to see what's going on in my life by putting these videos on my channel, but it doesn't tell you exactly what kind of person I am. I mean, this isn't the only thing I do. There's 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, like I said earlier. I do a lot more other stuff other than just YouTube, you know. But I just want to show people out there. I mean, I've said this many times. I grew up without a father, you know. I got 3 kids. I talk to my kids, communicate with all my kids. You know, they can ask me anything. They can talk to me about anything. You know, and I see other people who have children, who ignore their children, you know, who don't teach their children. And to me, that's a travesty. I don't understand that. I don't understand why people do that. They're your children. They're little bitty yous, right? And they need guidance, and they need teachings. You know, you want them to go out on the street and learn this stuff on the street, learn it the wrong way, end up in jail or on drugs or something like that? No, not me. That ain't gonna happen with me. I'm an overprotective father, and I like it. And ain't nobody out there gonna make me change that. You know. At least when I die, and I go up to the big kahuna in the sky, I can look at him in the eyes and say, "Listen, I did what I had to do." All right? He's gonna give me a thumbs up. Anyways, that's what's going on in the saga. The adventure continues. I'm looking for something else for either my son or myself. If I don't find something for my son, I'll find something for myself, and I will document it and I'll let you guys know. But the only way you're going to know is if you smash that subscribe button. Go ahead, just smash it, because it don't cost you anything. It's free. And give me a thumbs up if you like these kind of videos. You know, believe me, I know the people who don't like it, because they're sending me private emails and stuff like that. And if you want to send me an email, you don't want to leave a comment, hey, send me an email. My email is mrmarcolee@gmail.com. Or if you want to talk to me live, like what are you doing right now, or where are you at, or what are you talking about, you can contact me through Instagram. That's the fastest, easiest way to contact me, is by direct message at I Seek Out the Truth Arizona. That's my Instagram. You know, I've had people ask me, well, what's your phone number? I want to call you. No, I don't give out my phone number. Nope. The only people on my phone number is direct family. And that is it. Where am I going to go out at? Oh, that gate's closed. Go this way. Anyways, that's going to be my video for today.